What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and I think we've reached the point in the year where everyone's kind of admitted there probably won't be a Red Sox October, meaning that the Red Sox are probably not going to be playing playoff baseball. And what that means for a lot of fans and analysts is we're going to start shifting our focus towards what's going to happen in 2023. One of the biggest parts of this 2023 Red Sox team, and honestly, one of the biggest parts of this Red Sox team going forward, period, is Garrett Whitlock. Now, Garrett Whitlock's usage has been extremely limited since coming back from the IL, and that's mostly because he's still battling through that injury, which has led to a debate between fans, analysts, kind of everybody as to whether or not the Red Sox should shut Garrett Whitlock down for the rest of the year. And that's kind of what we're talking about today. We're going to be talking about how this injury is still affecting Garrett Whitlock and what it means for this Red Sox team. Plus, we're talking about whether or not, if I was in charge of this Red Sox team, would I shut Garrett Whitlock down for the rest of the year? And I also want you guys to let me know in the comments down below. After listening and watching this video, let me know in the comments down below what you would do if you were in charge of this Red Sox team. Would you shut Garrett Whitlock down, or would you keep him going? But before we get into that, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. This debate between whether or not the Red Sox should shut Garrett Whitlock down for the rest of the year really started when Pete Abraham released an article in the Boston Globe that talked about the struggles Garrett Whitlock is still going through since coming back from the IL. In fact, Alex Cora was quoted in this article saying that he can move better than Garrett Whitlock can right now. It's to the point where Garrett Whitlock looks like an old man in that locker room, shuffling around, not really stepping, trying to make sure that that hip doesn't get any worse. For those of you who don't remember why Garrett Whitlock's in this place to begin with, in early June he went onto the IL with hip inflammation. Well, when he came back from the IL, it wasn't because that hip had been fixed and he was ready to go. It was because he was told he could battle through it. He was told by medical professionals that, hey, if you go out there and pitch, you're not going to make your hip inflammation any worse, and you can kind of push off your true rehab into the offseason without doing a ton of damage. And we all kind of know how Garrett Whitlock is being used since coming back from the IL. We never really see Whitlock go consecutive days anymore. In fact, it's usually 2 days in between when you can use Garrett Whitlock, and when he is used, you either get him for 1 or 2 innings. At the beginning of the year, we saw much different usage of Garrett Whitlock. We were seeing him go multiple innings, we were seeing him go multiple days in a row. We even saw a couple of 3-4 inning outings from Garrett Whitlock out of that bullpen. That's not starting pitching, that's out of the bullpen. He was a huge piece of this Red Sox bullpen, but lately he's being used in a much stricter way. Also, on top of all of that, on top of the precautions that the Red Sox are taking, one of the stipulations for Garrett Whitlock to come back and be able to pitch for the Red Sox for the remainder of this year was that he had to tell the staff of this Red Sox team if he was not ready to pitch. If he could not pitch that day, he must tell the Red Sox staff, or he could get into trouble with the team and stuff like that. Now, this actually explains a pretty decent amount of the decisions that have been made recently in terms of late games with the bullpen. A lot of fans and a lot of people have been kind of upset with the fact that if we're in a late game and it's kind of close, we don't see Whitlock. Instead, we see Familia, we see Brazier, we see Bizzardo, and now we kind of know why. The reason is because either Garrett Whitlock is in one of those strict regiment days off, or it's simply because he has told the staff that, hey, I'm not feeling good today, I cannot pitch for this team. So that explains a lot, and hopefully that takes a little bit of the pressure off of this managerial decision that we have been seeing online recently, which is a lot of people saying, what are we doing here? We could still be winning games. Alex Cora's throwing in the towel. It might not be the case. It might be the case that Garrett Whitlock simply cannot pitch that day. So if there's a ton of pain with Garrett Whitlock right now, and the fact that you have to use him extremely strictly in this bullpen, plus the fact that we're probably out of contention, let's be honest, the Red Sox are virtually out of contention, why not just shut Garrett Whitlock down for the rest of the 2022 season? For the second part of this video, we're going to be joined by my cat Misty, and that is because she's as concerned with the Boston Red Sox and their usage of Garrett Whitlock as we all are. But the main reason why Garrett Whitlock has not been put onto the IL yet and shut down for the rest of the year, it's not because the front office or the managerial staff hasn't thought about this. I can guarantee you they have debated this back and forth a lot recently, but it's because Garrett Whitlock does not want to be put onto the IL. Garrett Whitlock has said that, hey, Listen, I understand that this is going to hurt, but I also understand that this isn't going to make my hip any worse. I want to be out there as much as I possibly can. I want to help this team win as much as I possibly can. And I want to help them finish this season strong, regardless of whether or not we are making a playoff push this year. And I gotta say, that's an extremely admirable trait in a Red Sox player. A guy who puts the team first, puts winning above all else, is something kind of invaluable. You can't teach that type of thinking. So to have that type of player who's going to be a mainstay in both either the bullpen or the rotation for the Red Sox going forward makes me extremely happy. But at the same time too, I would rather have a fully healthy Garrett Whitlock coming into 2023 than putting him out there in 2022 and possibly risking further injury. Mechanics are extremely important in this game of baseball, but it's extremely important when it comes to pitching. And with Garrett Whitlock having that hip inflammation, he may tweak his mechanics a little bit to help him ease the pain of pitching every 2-3 days. Now that could be a problem in a couple of ways. One, because you're tweaking your mechanics, right? A lot of the reason why certain pitchers are really good is because of the mechanics that they use, and Garrett Whitlock can be lumped into that group. So changing your mechanics may reduce efficiency, and it may be tough to relearn those mechanics that you had before. And on top of that too, with different mechanics could also lead to different injuries. So putting him out there for 2022 not only increases your risk of losing the effectiveness of Garrett Whitlock, but it also increases the chances and likelihood of Garrett Whitlock getting injured throughout the rest of 2022 somewhere else that isn't the hip. Because yeah, the hip's not going to get any worse, but at the same time too, it would suck if Garrett Whitlock got a shoulder or an arm injury because of new mechanics. I personally would have absolutely no problem shutting Whitlock down for the rest of the 2022 season. We talked about it at the beginning. This season is what it is, right? And yes, the bullpen would be absolutely decimated without Houck or Whitlock, but again, we're not making any playoff pushes. We're not going for a long run here at the end of September, anything crazy like that. So let's put Garrett Whitlock on the IL, let him fully heal up, and let him be ready to go for 2023. At the same time too, you kind of killed two birds with one stone. We've been talking for 4 or 5 videos straight about how, hey, the Red Sox should start looking at the Worcester bullpen and see who they can bring up and bolster the MLB bullpen going forward into 2023. Putting Garrett Whitlock on the IL would allow you to bring one of those guys up, Frank Herman, Politi, one of those other guys in Worcester, and see if maybe, hey, these guys could be a staple in the bullpen right now going into 2023. Because let's be honest here, there are so many holes in this Red Sox bullpen and pitching staff in general that maybe putting Whitlock on the IL, a guy who you know is definitely going to be a staple in 2023, allows you the opportunity to explore other options going into 2023 as well. So if I was in charge here, if I was the Red Sox, I understand the fight, the fierceness of Garrett Whitlock and how much playing in these games means to him and what it means for the guys in the clubhouse. But at the same time too, 2023 matters more than 2022 this year in my opinion. So I would shut Garrett Whitlock down for the rest of the year and I would see what we have in the minor leagues. But I don't just want to know what my opinion is. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below. What would you do if you were the Red Sox? If you were in charge of this situation, would you A, let Garrett Whitlock finish out the year? Hey, it's not going to hurt him anymore. The dude wants to be out there. There's not a ton of games left. Let him finish out the season, see if he can regain some of the momentum, blah, blah, blah. Or B, would you shut him down for the rest of the year, get another guy up here, see what we have in Worcester, and let Garrett Whitlock rehab himself for 2023? Let me know all your thoughts on this topic down below. As always, if you've made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button. Like I said in the beginning, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Not only do we talk Red Sox content almost every single day, we talk it regardless of whether or not the Red Sox are winning or the Red Sox are losing. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Like I said at the beginning, helps out a ton, would mean a lot to me. Plus, you made it to the end of this video, clearly enjoy the content, you might as well hit that thumbs up. But one more thing, if you guys truly enjoy this video, do me a favor, make sure you share with a friend or family member who loves the Red Sox as much as you do. Let them debate whether or not the Red Sox should put Garrett Whitlock onto the IL / shut him down for the rest of the year, and see if you guys agree or disagree. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seat.